Hello, everyone. Tonight, we are drifting deep into the underbrush of time where shadows are longer and moonlight touches more than just leaves. You're standing well crouching in the midst of a prehistoric night, the kind of night that remembers everything and forgives nothing. The stars are only witnesses. The trees sway tall and ancient, but something just beneath them is stirring. It's not thunder. It's not wind. It's the hush of feathers brushing against ferns, and those feathers, they glow. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you really like what I do here, and tell me where you watching from and what time is it right now. Now, turn off the lights, maybe turn on the fan for some soothing noise, and let's get started tonight. You hatch in silence, not with a shout or squeal, but a rustle of damp egg membrane splitting beneath your snout. Your nestmates are already flopping around noisy, clumsy, desperate little things, but you're slower, sleepier, maybe wiser. You blink through wet lashes at the sky and there it is, a moon. Almost full, and it sees you. Your feathers sparse and matted with yolk shimmer. It's not bright not yet, but under the moonlight, the down over your snout gives off a hint of ghostly blue, the kind of glow that fireflies envy and predators notice. Which is, inconvenient. One of your siblings squeaks at you, then flinches like they've seen a ghost. You're not sure why until you glance down and see your reflection flickering in the pooled water beneath the nest. Huh, that light. That's you. Great. You're basically a prehistoric flashlight. Most hatchlings spend their first hours learning how to walk. You spend yours learning how to hide. A nearby branch breaks. Your mother's shadow massive clawed loving in the way only a creature with a 2-meter-long beak can be leans in. She snorts softly, exhales hot air that smells like meat and moss and nuzzles you toward the edge of the nest. Here's a historical fact for you. Many feathered dinosaurs likely brooded their young, much like birds do today. Fossils show adults draped protectively over nests, limbs outstretched, body heat, warming the eggs like a prehistoric electric blanket. She disappears again, probably off to hunt something with too many teeth. You wobble forward and squish into the muddy perimeter of the nest. The jungle stretches around you like a mouth. Every frond is a tooth. Every sound is a growl. And through it all, the moon follows you. No, really. It seems to track your movement. Every time you twitch, your downy glow shifts just enough to catch the corner of your eye. You try hiding beneath the fallen log, only to realize the shimmer crawls along your feathers like moonlight dripping down a waterfall. Great camouflage if you were trying to get noticed. At one point, a beetle the size of your head walks past and pauses. It actually pauses to stare at you, clicking its jaws in what feels suspiciously like judgment. Then it scuttles away, rude. Historians still debate whether feathered dinosaurs used coloration for camouflage signaling or thermal regulation. What they don't mention is how annoying it is when your feathers signal, "Here I am, come eat me." You curl into yourself trying to dim whatever this glow is, but it only grows stronger the more the moon rises. You look like a breathing constellation. Nearby, a pair of eyes gleam from a bush. They blink. You both freeze. The glow makes you visible, but it also confuses the predator. It hesitates. Maybe it's never seen prey that glows. You take the opportunity to bolt. Bolt is a generous word. It's more of a stumble, crawl, wiggle, panic. Your tiny claws slip on wet leaves. A root tries to trip you. The underbrush slaps you in the face like it's personally offended by your existence. But somehow you make it to a rock overhang and wedge yourself beneath. You shiver, still glowing faintly as the night thickens around you. A pack of something growls past, low, guttural, not quite mammals, not quite reptiles. You don't look. You hold still. Eventually their steps fade. Odd fact for you, some paleontologists believe that early feathers may have evolved not for flight or warmth but for display. Meaning it's entirely possible that your shimmer is a prehistoric flirtation gone horribly wrong. Later, as the jungle sighs and fog slinks along the ground like a sleepy ghost, you emerge. tentatively. The moon is higher now. You lift your head, feathers trembling, and for a moment the glow surges. It blooms outward like a breath. Not just decoration, not just accident, it means something. You don't know what it means yet, but it feels important. You pad back toward the nest, now half empty and trampled. One sibling is snoring, another is missing. You curl beside the snoring one, pressing your side to theirs for warmth. Your feathers dim slightly, finally resting. The moon is still watching, and you're starting to think it's less of a spotlight and more of a silent friend. You drift off to sleep, glowing. You wake to the smell of blood and the silence of absence. The nest is cold. Your mother isn't there. Neither is the sibling who snored beside you last night. The ground smells like panic, and there are drag marks in the mud, long, deliberate, like something was pulled away while trying not to scream. You don't know enough to grieve, but your feathers raise in a slow, moon-touched ripple. You step away from the nest as the jungle stirs with 1,000 yawns and threats. The sky is bleeding color now, lavender in the east, navy overhead, and somewhere in the trees, a predator finishes chewing. Then something strange happens. The moon, hanging pale and defeated above the horizon, flickers. Just once. As if it blinks. As if it knows what's about to happen. A shadow crosses your path. It's not a predator. Not yet. It's another hatchling your size, but bulkier, feathers darker, limbs straighter. He doesn't glow, but he acts like he owns the night. No chirp of greeting, no wide-eyed wonder, just a flat stare. He follows you. Not immediately. At first, he lingers near the nest, sniffing at the blood-matted feathers poking at your half-eaten sibling. But soon, when you slink off into the trees, he's behind you. Always behind you. You pause, he pauses. You move, he moves. Like a mirror that forgot which side it's on. There are no real conversations between hatchlings. Only the language of tail twitches, feather puffs, and head tilts. His say, "One thing, I saw what you did last night. I saw you glow." You don't want company, especially not from someone who doesn't understand how dangerous moonlight is. So you test him. You veer off into thicker brush, into patches of fungus that puff spores with every step. He follows. You slide down a muddy bank and vanish beneath a tangle of roots. He finds a different route and meets you at the bottom. You jump across a stream. He does too, but he stumbles, landing half in the water. His eyes flash irritation, but he says nothing. Historically, many theropods likely exhibited semi-social behaviors in their juvenile stages, like crocodilians or some modern birds. But that didn't mean they liked each other. Later, when the moon rises again, thinner tonight, still pale, your feathers come alive once more. You try not to move, try not to give yourself away. But the glow pulses. You can't help it. You hear a click behind you. Not a twig, not claws. A mimicry click. That other hatchling just made the sound you made earlier. You turn. He's crouched behind a bush, watching your glow like it's prey. Not like you are prey, just the shimmer itself, like he wants to peel it off and keep it. And in that moment, the moonlight turns red. It isn't real. There's no sunset left, no fire in the trees, but everything around you dims. The sky, the leaves, the glow itself. Something's wrong. Above, the moon vanishes. Not clouds, not weather, an eclipse. The temperature drops so fast your breath fogs. You chirp, but it dies in your throat. The jungle holds its breath. You're not supposed to be glowing right now. And yet your feathers flare. A desperate act. A betrayal. A beacon. The shadow leaps. You dodge barely and feel claws rake your side. Not deep. Just enough to say, "I'm here." And I'm not just watching anymore. You run. Branches whip your face. Roots grab your ankles. Your lungs burn. Behind you, the other hatchling follows without a sound. Not a hunter's roar, not a scream, just footsteps. Calculated, close. You dart through the fog. There's a ledge ahead. You leap it, feathers fanning out, glowing brighter midair. For a second, just one, you're flying. Okay, more like falling with flair. But it counts. You land hard, scramble up, and keep running. Behind you, there's a grunt, a snap, and silence. You turn around slowly. No sign of him. You wait. You whisper a call. No answer. Did he fall? Is he waiting, or did he choose to vanish? Historians still debate whether juvenile dinosaurs engaged in competitive aggression or ritualistic challenges. What you just lived through feels less like a fight and more like a naming ceremony. You were tested under the shadow of the moon, and you passed. That night when the eclipse ends and the jungle exhales again, your feathers glow soft and steady. Not terrified, not angry, just true. Your mother never comes back. But the jungle doesn't eat you. Instead, the moonlight follows you from canopy to cliffside. It paints your feathers like silver thread. And somewhere in the dark, other creatures begin to recognize the shimmer. Some flee it. Some watch. And one in particular still follows, limping, now hiding just outside your peripheral vision. Odd fact, some bioluminescent species today use their glow to scare predators by mimicking more dangerous animals. You're starting to think your body learned that trick all on its own. Later, beneath a tree that hums with sleeping insects, you curl up alone for the first time. You feel a name press itself into the earth beneath you. Not in words, not in language, but in shape and story. She who glimmers. You close your eyes and sleep beneath a moon that has learned your name. The jungle doesn't wake you, it shivers you awake. Some nights it sings. Other nights it chatters, clicks, shrieks, in that someone just lost a tail kind of way. But tonight it just shivers. The leaves rustle without wind. The ground breathes, and the moon, half full, dangling sideways like a sly smirk in the sky. You uncurl bones stiff and feathers prickling and stretch out each limb one by one. Your glow flickers gently, faint but undeniable. Still there, still you. You shuffle past vines that remember your scent, past rocks that have stopped noticing you. Something's changed. Not just in you, but in the way the night responds. You're not hiding anymore. You're noticeable, which is not the same as safe. Then you hear it, a hiss, not like a predator's growl, not warning, not anger. This is a weird hiss, a startled one. You freeze, then edge around a trunk. And there, behind a cluster of moon-bathed ferns, you spot it. Another animal, not your rival, not your kind either. Something taller, older, and far too quiet. Its feathers are patchy, striped with mud, and its eyes are wrong. Not forward-facing, not predator-sharp, but wide, watery, and glassy, like it's staring at another world entirely. It's standing there like it forgot how legs work. You blink. It hisses again, not at you, but at your glow. Your feathers pulse slightly unbidden, and the creature takes a step back. Almost trips. And then it flees, not fast, not frantic, just awkward. As if your glow offended it. You watch it go, confused. Was that fear? Turns out glow can repel things too, like social obligations or dinner invitations. Historians still debate whether fear responses in non-mammalian dinosaurs could be triggered by color or light. But whatever that was, you just learned something primal: you matter in the dark. Later that night, you test your light on smaller things. A beetle flees. A frog freezes. A bat-sized flying reptile circles once, then peels away like it just smelled last week's fish. Cool. You spend an hour just walking in wide arcs, turning your head to let the shimmer spill across bark and puddle. It moves with you, always you, and now finally you feel like you're in control. But of course, the jungle can't stand confidence. As you cross an open patch beneath the canopy where the moonlight falls clean and whole, you hear it. Footsteps. Soft. Familiar. He's back? That rival hatchling, bigger now, still quiet, still watching. This time he doesn't hide. He walks beside you, not touching, not talking, just mirroring. You flick your tail. He flicks his. You slow. He slows. You turn sharply, so does he. Oh, perfect. You have a moon shadow stalker. Maybe give him a name. Something adorable like passive-aggressive. You crouch suddenly, feathers flaring just slightly. The glow expands silvery and delicate. He stops, Doesn't flinch, just waits. You realize something: he's not trying to steal your glow anymore. He's trying to understand it. That makes him even more annoying. Odd fact: some birds today can see ultraviolet patterns invisible to humans, and many use these colors to communicate rank or mood. It's possible your glow to him is screaming things you don't even mean to say. Later, you move toward a stream to drink. You drink first. He waits. That's new. And when you raise your head and shake off droplets, your reflection shimmers on the water's surface, glow rippling like silk. He stares at that reflection a long time. You half expect him to hiss again or leap at it or start some awkward dominance ritual, but instead he leaves, just turns and vanishes into the trees. You sit there a while, confused. That glow of yours, it's not a curse. It's not even a defense anymore. It's a signal, and whether you like it or not, someone just read it. You wander into denser forest. Here, the canopy cracks less often and the moonlight filters down in strange spears and broken shafts. You crouch near a fallen tree. Your feathers shimmer, then dim, then shimmer again. You're learning. If you tuck your tail and narrow your feathers, the glow focuses slimmer, sharper, harder to spot. If you spread your wings slightly, it widens like a cloud. You start to time it to your steps. Walk during shadow. Pause in glow. Move, vanish, flicker, repeat. You've become a whisper, a soft one, a dangerous one. And just as you're starting to feel proud of this quiet art form you've invented, something behind you growls loudly. You whip around. It's not your rival this time. It's bigger. A predator, furred, but only halfway, with jagged teeth and no patience. You glow. Of course you do. But the growl doesn't falter. No hesitation, no confusion. It lunges. You leap sideways, scramble up a slick log, glowing like a terrified lantern. The thing chases, fast, too fast. But you've learned something. You duck under a hanging root just as moonlight slices through a break in the canopy, and your feathers explode with shimmer. The predator halts, just for a second, just long enough for you to bolt sideways down a hollow under a moss-draped arch, into a thicket that hugs you like a friend with questionable hygiene. You hold your breath, listen. The predator growls again, circles once, then wanders off, annoyed and maybe a little confused. Your glow dims again. Controlled, soft, obedient. You survive. And this time you smile a little. Because tonight the shimmer didn't betray you. It obeyed. By now the glow is no longer surprising. It hums beneath your skin like memory. You don't question it anymore. It's as much a part of you as the claws on your feet or the beat of your heart. But you still haven't figured out how to turn it off, which you'll admit is kind of a problem when you're trying to stay alive. Tonight, the moon is sharp, not friendly, not soft. It cuts through the leaves like it's mad at them, like it's trying to find you specifically. And it does. Of course it does. The moment you step into a clearing, your feathers light up like a warning sign in a language only the night understands. So you learn, you crouch low, fan your tail a certain way, tilt your body to the angle of the moonbeams, and just like that, the glow fades into the shadows. Not gone, but masked, hidden in plain sight. Congratulations! You've invented prehistoric stealth mode. Here's your authoritative historical fact of the night. Paleontologists have discovered fossilized melanosomes, tiny pigment cells in dinosaur feathers, suggesting complex coloration patterns. That means your ancestors weren't just brown or gray. They were art, possibly even iridescent. But this glow, this is more than color. You keep testing. Move sideways across a slope. The shimmer dims. Step too quickly into a ray of moonlight. Boom, you're a spotlight again. It's infuriating. Like trying to sneak through a party while wearing a neon sign that says, "Definitely suspicious." You end up developing a sort of dance. 3 quick steps: crouch. Pause. Let a cloud cover the moon, then sprint. You even give it a name, the shimmer stagger, which sounds cooler than it looks, honestly. But it works. Until it doesn't. There's a soft crunch ahead. You freeze mid-crouch, not a predator, not food. It's him again? Your rival? Your reflection? That other hatchling who somehow hasn't been eaten yet, which is either impressive or infuriating, or both. He's gotten good at hiding too. You spot him only because you expect to. Because you've started assuming he's always nearby. He doesn't glow, never has. But he's learned to match your rhythms, learned when you move and when you freeze. He freezes, like the jungle pressed pause. You don't know what he wants. He doesn't attack, doesn't speak, doesn't even glare anymore. He just watches. One night you catch him mimicking your crouch exactly. Feathers held just so, tail low, eyes half-lidded. He's studying you. You're annoyed, so you vanish. Not physically. That would be too easy. You simply stop glowing. You've been practicing. When the moon is thin and the air is thick, you can curl your feathers just right, flatten your posture, press your tail to the mud, and hold your breath, and the glow stops. Not gone, just hushed. It doesn't last long, only a few seconds, but it's enough. When you do it that night, he startles, actually jerks back. You vanish right in front of him. And in that instant, you realize something delightfully petty. He's afraid of not seeing you. You let the glow flicker back slowly, just enough to catch his eye. Then you leave. You sleep in the crook of a giant fallen tree that smells like rain and moss, and very old things. There are scratch marks in the bark, some yours, some not. Maybe even something older. You curl into yourself, feathers dimmed, satisfied, until you wake to a weird sound. Laughter. Okay, not laughter, but close. It's a series of chirps and clicks that sound like they're mocking you. You recognize the rhythm. You invented the rhythm. And someone's copying it badly. You peek outside. It's not your rival. It's not even a dinosaur. It's a creature you've never seen, small, covered in scales and fur both, and it's trying to glow. No, really. It has bits of crushed fungus smeared all over its back, some of it bioluminescent, and it's doing this strange little dance under a moonbeam like it's trying to summon a mate. It sees you. It freezes. You stare at each other. Then it points, actually lifts a weird claw hand and points at your feathers. It chirps again almost excitedly. Then it vanishes into the trees, trailing glow mud and confusion behind it. Historians still debate whether mimicry in prehistoric ecosystems was widespread or rare. Tonight, you add one tiny, ridiculous data point to the definitely widespread side of that argument. You shake your feathers annoyed. Your glow ripples controlled, elegant. You're not just surviving anymore, you're performing. That's the real twist, isn't it? You've become a story. Something worth imitating. A flicker in the forest that even strangers want to echo. And while others mimic you, you disappear. By the next moonrise, you've perfected your stealth. You can move from one end of a clearing to another without catching a single glint of silver light. You control every feather, every glint, every breath. And just before sleep, you whisper something not in words, not in language, but in rhythm. A new sound. A glow call. Not for predators, not for rivals. Just for the moon. And because you're petty for the rival who's no longer following. Not because you lost him. Because now you're the one watching him. The moon is wrong tonight. Not broken. Not gone. Just different. Pale, yes, but softer, like it's been rubbed with ash or sleep. You notice it immediately, of course. You've spent your entire life watching that silver eye. You know when it blinks. You know when it pretends not to look. So you tread lightly tonight. Not afraid, just cautious. Like the jungle's playing a game it hasn't explained the rules to yet. And that's when you sense it. Something's watching you. Not like your rival did. Not with challenge or imitation. This is different, older. You can feel it through the moss, through the trembling leaves, through the way your feathers prickle without any wind. You twist glow dim and peer into the dark. There, between two leaning trunks, a silhouette. At first glance, it looks like a log still quiet, moss-covered. But logs don't breathe, and they definitely don't blink. It's watching you. No sound, no movement. But its presence coils around your path like fog. You take one step forward, feathers low. It takes one step back. You freeze. It mirrors you. Not like your rival. This is slower, more deliberate. It tilts its head when you do, not curious testing. The light catches something odd, its feathers shimmer. But not like yours, not glowing, reflective. They catch the moonlight like wet stone, iridescent like oil, sharp angles unlike your soft ripple. Whoever this is, they don't glow, but they know what glow means. Authoritative historical side note. Fossil evidence shows that iridescent feathers like those of modern hummingbirds existed as far back as the early Cretaceous. Their purpose unknown. Could be mating, could be threat display, could be because dinosaurs just liked looking fabulous. You move again. This time you circle. The silhouette mirrors again, but slower now. Less confident, less perfect. And then you vanish. Not physically, not really. You just crouch low angle away from the moonbeam and curl your tail to dim the shimmer. Your breathing slows, your heart slows, your glow stops. They can't see you. You hold the moment. Hold it until your muscles twitch, until your feathers itch, until the moon flickers overhead. Then you glow again, sudden, bright, sharp. The silhouette flinches. You see it now clearly, not a predator, not even close. Long-limbed, light, semi-feathered, beak narrow, and unarmed. This creature is watching, but it's never hunted in its life. It turns and slinks away, not quite running, not quite scared. You let it go. You follow, not because you need to, because you have to. Something about the way it moved, the way it mirrored you without threat, it knows something. You track it over roots and streams, and into a part of the jungle you've never dared to enter. The trees here are different, taller, thinner, their bark peeled back like old paper. They lean as if they're listening. And in the center of it all, there's a hollow, a perfect circle in the earth ringed with stones that don't belong here. Inside it, claw marks, old ones, hundreds. You step in. The glow follows you, spills into the pit. The reflective feathered stranger watches from a ledge above. Doesn't enter, just watches. You test your glow again. Dim, bright, ripple, pause. Their eyes follow every change. You realize they want you to be here. You glow again, brighter this time, not just for visibility, as a signal. The pit answers. Light bounces off the walls, not yours, not moonlight. A second glow emerges from the rock, faint, pale green. A mineral vein running through the stone like an ancient scar. It pulses once in time with your breath. Odd fact. Some minerals like fluorite exhibit photoluminescence. Exposed to UV or moonlight, they glow faintly in the dark. You step closer to the glow vein. It doesn't fear you. It joins you. Your feathers in the rock shimmer in the same rhythm. A soft pulse like a heartbeat shared across centuries. Historians still debate whether prehistoric creatures had any form of ritual behavior. This doesn't feel like instinct. This feels like memory. You turn to the reflective stranger. They are gone. Not fled, just absent. You climb out of the pit. The moon is higher now, sharpening the forest into blades. But something shifted inside you. You're not just glowing anymore. You're resonating. And the jungle knows. Later you sleep near the mineral stones nestled beside a strange curl of vine that smells like ozone and dust. Your feathers pulse gently even in dreams. You've seen something ancient. Something that knew what you were before you did. And as the night deepens, you whisper to the dark, who else is watching? The vines rustle, the moon doesn't answer. But something far beneath the earth glows back. They call it the moon trial, though no one ever really says it out loud. It starts when the elders begin to gather. Not all at once, not with ceremony, just one after another appearing in the trees like fungus after rain. Scarred snouts, broken claws, feathers dulled by age and grit. You spot them by accident, half hidden in shadows, pretending not to be watching. But they are. One night just past moonrise, your rival appears again. No ambush this time, no mimicking. He walks out into the clearing like he's been summoned. His feathers are sleeker now, still dark, still matte, but shaped by survival. He doesn't glow, but the moon catches the curve of his tail just so. He nods once. You nod back. It's not peace, but it's close enough. That night neither of you eat. You don't speak. You don't sleep. You wait. That's how the moon trial begins. At some point, the elders move. They lead you both silently through the underbrush across a moss bridge past a stream that smells like copper and old thunder. You're brought to a ravine, not wide but deep. The moonlight just barely reaches the bottom. You've seen this place before from a distance. It's where the glow veins start, where the stones hum. You'd thought it sacred. Now you realize it's a test. The oldest elder steps aside, revealing a path of slick mud and thorny roots. The only way down. No instructions, no rules. You glance at your rival. He doesn't hesitate. He jumps first. You follow. Here's the historical fact for tonight. Ritual trials among animals are rare, but not unheard of. Elephants test memory. Crows test tools. Even penguins in colonies must perform social rites to be accepted. So why not dinosaurs? You hit the ground with a squelch claws slipping. Immediately you feel it, the stone pulses beneath your feet. Not seismic, not dangerous, just aware. Like it's recording your every step. You move forward, carefully. The ravine narrows. The glow veins appear again, lining the walls like veins of frozen fire. But the air grows damp, slick, disorienting. Every sound echoes. You hear yourself breathing twice, once in your chest, once in the stone. You glance up. The moon can't see you here. That's the trial. Can you still glow without it? You reach for that shimmer deep in your feathers, but it resists. Not fear, not pain, just absence. The light has always been a response to the moon. Now you're on your own. You focus, breathe. Lower your feathers, raise your heart. A flicker, a pulse, then finally a glow. Soft, dim, internal, not moonlight. You, and just like that you see him, your rival. Crouched low ahead, glowing faintly with reflected light. Not his own. Yours. He hasn't figured it out yet. He watches you with eyes wide and dark. Not jealousy now, something worse. Doubt. You move past him. The path twists. You're in it now, deep in the ravine, surrounded by glowing stone. Every pulse of your feathers lights the wall. You realize they match your glow and the rock sinking like breath. There's something ahead. A pool. Black, still cold as regret. You step in. Your feathers dim instantly. No glow, no shimmer, no memory of light. Just reflection. And it's not your own. In the water, you see yourself, but wrong. Taller, older, broken in ways you don't understand. Your glow, once soft and silver, is jagged and white-hot. Too much. Unbearable. You stumble back. The water ripples. The image fades. You hear footsteps. He's caught up. He sees the pool. He steps beside you and doesn't look. You realize that's his trial. Avoid the reflection. Yours was the opposite. Understand it. Historians still debate whether dinosaurs had complex self-recognition abilities. You'd argue that tonight survival is inseparable from self-awareness. The elders appear on the ledge above, watching, waiting. You walk into the pool, not deep, not dangerous, just cold enough to remind you you're alive. You bow your head, and your glow returns. Not silver now, gold, soft, pure, warm. The feathers along your back ripple with heat and light, as though the absence of moonlight burned away doubt and left only truth. He follows. And this time his feathers catch some of your glow, not reflecting it, but holding it. A little. Enough. You step out of the pool together. The elders disappear. No praise, no roar, no feather-ruffling approval. Just silence. You've passed. Not because you glowed, because you learned how not to need to. Odd fact of the night, in deep-sea environments, some creatures emit light not to see but to connect. Glowing pulses across the dark, reaching others who would never find them otherwise. That night you sleep side by side. You don't speak, but your feathers glow in sync. For the first time, not rivals. Just survivors. The cave doesn't look like much from the outside. Just a dark crack in a hill of moss-covered rock tucked beneath vines and old bones that no one has bothered to bury. You nearly miss it. Your claws slip in the mud and you stumble sideways through a curtain of hanging lichen. And there it is, a hole in the earth that smells like history and regret. You shouldn't go in. So of course you do. Your rival watches from above. He doesn't follow, not yet. His feathers twitch once, unsure. You tilt your head just enough to say, "Suit yourself," then vanish inside. It's colder than expected. The air tastes metallic, damp, too quiet. Even the night sounds don't follow you here. You pad forward, glow faint against the wet walls. Every step echoes too long. The floor is slick with ancient drips, and you half wonder if time itself condenses down here. Then you see them. Bones everywhere, not scattered like a predator's meal. Arranged, layered, folded together like pressed flowers, spines, arched tails, coiled ribs resting one atop the other. Small ones, big ones. Some barely fossilized, others hardened into stone. And one thing links them all: feathers. Some still cling to the bones. Fragile, brittle, like burnt paper. Others have fused into the rock ghost impressions of creatures that once glowed. You run a claw along the edge of one fossilized wing. The shimmer is still there, trapped in stone, waiting for someone to see it. Authoritative historical detour in rare fossil beds, like those in China's Liaoning province. Entire dinosaurs have been preserved with feather impressions intact, even capturing microscopic melanosomes. Under the right light, those fossils still show hints of iridescence. The cave curves deeper, you follow, and then suddenly light. Not yours, not moonlight. A soft greenish glow pulses from the stone itself. You step into a chamber wide and low, where the walls are laced with glowing mineral veins. They twist like roots, and in their light the bones seem to shimmer again. Then you realize some of them are glowing. Not fossils, fresh. Not warm, not alive, but not dead either. Halfway, cocooned in the glow. Historians still debate whether some dinosaurs engaged in ritual burials or returned to the same sites to die. Most say no. You say they didn't have to know what they were doing for it to mean something. You hear a step behind you. He followed after all. Your rival enters cautiously, feathers tight to his body, glowless but respectful. He sees the chamber. The bones. He stops short. You don't speak. There's nothing to say. You step forward toward a central slab, a kind of stone table surrounded by fragments of claws, feathers, and half-eaten dreams. On it lies a skull. Small, delicate, familiar. You stare at it. Something about the curve of the beak, the position of the eye socket, the way the feathers still cling to the neck. It's like looking into a mirror made of time. The skull glows, so faintly you barely notice at first. You lean closer. Your own feathers flare softly. The light responds, pulses, matches yours. You step back shaken. You're not the first, not even close. Others came before, others glowed. Maybe stronger, maybe not. But they stood here, lived, died, left something behind. Your rival walks to the other side of the slab. He doesn't touch the skull, but he lowers his head slightly. A nod. And just for a moment in the reflection off the stone, he glows too, only for a heartbeat. A ripple, but it's real. Odd fact, bioluminescence in the natural world can be contagious not biologically but behaviorally. Some species begin glowing only when exposed to others that do. A kind of luminous domino effect. You exhale. It's not about brightness, not about dominance. It never was. It's about resonance. You leave the skull untouched. You walk the chamber once, slowly nodding to the bones like you're thanking them for not being angry. Then you turn back. He follows, not close, not behind. Beside. The exit glows faintly ahead. Moonlight has found its way through a crack above, casting a cold, perfect beam onto the path back out. You step into it, and your feathers blaze. Not gold this time, not silver, blue. Deep, unnatural, beautiful. The walls respond. The veins of stone flicker blue in rhythm. For one glorious moment, the whole chamber sings with light. Not sound, but movement. Breath. a quiet joy long forgotten. You turn to your rival. He looks at you like he's seen a ghost. Maybe he has, but this time he smiles. Just a little. Then the light fades. You step back into the jungle, night feathers dimming again to quiet shimmer. But something in you has changed. You're not just a creature that glows. You're a memory that walks. The jungle turns colder the higher you climb. It starts with the leaves, smaller, stiffer, rimmed with frost even under the moonlight. Then the soil changes, less mud, more gravel, and roots that grow sideways like they're trying to crawl back downhill. Your glow doesn't help much now. It reflects strangely off the stones like it's being filtered, scattered, judged. The wind carries no scent. That's the first danger. No prey, no predators, no signals. You pass beneath spindly trees draped in ice grass, a strange, silvery plant that shivers under its own weight. It crunches underfoot. Your claws slip more than once. Even the air feels distant, like it's been holding its breath for 1,000 years and is only now exhaling in your direction. Your rival walks behind you. Not close, not far. At a pace that says, if we're doing this, we're doing it together, but I still don't like your tail feathers. You're both silent. The cold demands it. Speech would break something. The moon here is different. It doesn't rise, it hovers. A pale disk caught in the spindles of the upper canopy like it got stuck on the way to somewhere better. And your glow, it flickers. Not because of fear, not because you're hiding, because the light itself is being bent. Every few steps your feathers shift tone silver to violet to sea glass green. You look down, and your tail shimmers in loops. The glow doesn't follow your body anymore. It drifts, a few paces behind, like your light is trying to escape. You freeze, turn your head. Your rival's glow, what little he borrowed in the cave, is gone. But he's watching your feathers like they're haunted. You keep walking. What else is there to do? Authoritative fact for tonight in the polar regions. Snow crystals refract and bend moonlight, creating halos, glows, and light pillars. This bending effect is similar to the way water distorts bioluminescence in marine animals. You stumble upon a frozen spring, still water half-sheathed in ice. You step forward to drink, but something holds you back. Your reflection is already there, moving. Before you do, you tilt your head. The reflection copies you too late. You step back. So does it too early. You stare into the pool. It stares back. Historians still debate whether ancient cultures attributed meaning to distorted reflections. We do know this the moment you start doubting which one of you is real. You've lost. You shuffle back from the water. Your rival does the same wordlessly, nervously. You climb higher. Ice forms on your feathers. Not thick, not dangerous. It is just enough to dim the shimmer to confuse the glow. You start leaving trails of scattered light behind you, little blue flares in the snow. They don't fade. They just stay there like breadcrumbs from a bird that glows in riddles. You reach a ridge, and there, finally you understand. The ice grass isn't just shimmering. It's responding to you. You step forward and a ripple travels through the frozen blades, echoing your motion. The glow that spills from your body bends around them, catches in the tiny hairs at the tips, amplifies. The grass hums faintly in your ears, not sound but pressure. You realize this entire field is an amplifier. Your glow, once subtle and shy, is now everywhere. You glow. The ice grass glows, the mountain glows, and for a moment the sky glows back. A storm forms on the horizon, quiet, blue, and coiling. The clouds there blink with something familiar, as if the sky saw what you were doing and decided to try it too. Odd fact. In high altitudes, moonbows, lunar rainbows can form under just the right conditions of mist and angle. You've created one. With your feathers, with the land, your rival steps into the field and disappears. Not gone, just absorbed. The glow bends around him, cloaking him, transforming him into something between shadow and sky. You walk forward. He reappears beside you. You say nothing, but your feathers say, "I see you." His feathers say nothing, but his eyes do finally. You lie in the grass together. You don't sleep. You don't move. You just let the glow drift upward like smoke from something old that forgot how to burn. The moon passes overhead, distorted into 3 shapes by the frost, and your light moves with it. Tomorrow you will descend, but tonight you become the mountain. The sky falls slowly, not all at once, not with thunder, but with persistence. It begins with clouds, then mist, then the kind of drizzle that sneaks into your feathers and lives there. You don't notice the shift at first, not until the moon fails to appear and stays gone. One night, then 2, then a week, then more. Rain without thunder, clouds without end. The jungle drinks endlessly, but nothing grows louder. In fact, the world hushes. Even the predators become hesitant. No moon, no signals, no glow, just a ceiling of water and weight. And your feathers, they dim. Not out of fear, out of hunger. You hadn't realized just how much your shimmer depended on the moon. Without it, your glow feels tired, like it's holding its breath. You twitch your tail, no flicker. Flare your shoulders, no ripple. The shimmer is buried. Your rival doesn't say anything, but you can feel his eyes on you. Judging, no, worried. That's somehow worse. You huddle beneath the roots of a fallen tree. The canopy drips like a leaking roof. The ground squelches with every shift of your claws, and you try to glow. Really try. Nothing. You're not disappearing, you're dimming. Historical fact. During the Cretaceous, volcanic activity and shifting climates likely caused extended cloud cover in some regions, contributing to ecosystem stress. Certain species adapted, others vanished. You refuse to vanish, so you adapt. You begin watching the world differently. You start learning new ways to see. The rain reveals trails others can't follow. Tiny paw prints that fill with water insects. Drawn to mushroom blooms, fresh bark peeled by mammoth jaws. In the absence of light, you begin reading shapes, shadows, weight, movement. You and your rival stop walking in straight lines. You curve, bend, drift silently from bush to rock to cave. Like water, like whispers. Your feathers may not shine, but they still move. You learn to use that quivering slightly before you leap, letting your tail rustle just enough to throw off a pursuer. Not glow. Gesture. Odd fact. Some species of fireflies stop glowing during storms, switching to pheromones or touch signals to communicate. You've stopped being a beacon. Now you're a rumor. One night you encounter something new, a marsh swollen by weeks of rain. The water is black, still. Shouldn't be. Marshes move. They gurgle, hiss, complain. This one listens. You don't like that, but something calls from it. A sound. A chirp. Your chirp. Exactly your chirp. You whip your head around, nothing. Again, a perfect imitation. You take one step into the mud. It accepts your foot with too much eagerness. Your rival stops you with a low snort. He hears it too. You test the call, respond. It mimics your rhythm but not your intent. It's too perfect, too immediate, like it's not learning, just repeating. You've been mimicked before by predators, by rivals, by clever little creatures with bright eyes and no patience. But this isn't mimicry. This is memory. You follow it deeper. The rain blurs everything. But the sound guides you always just ahead, always too close. The mud clings. The air grows thick with silence. Not absence of sound, absence of permission. Then you see it. A stone ring half submerged in muck, hidden beneath vines that look like snakes curled in prayer. In the center, bones, feathers, and one long curved claw. It glows, dim, blue-green, like moonlight through swamp water. You step into the circle. The mimicry stops. You feel seen. Not in the way predators see prey. Not like your rival watching your glow. This is different. This is a place that remembers. You kneel. Your feathers flicker once, just once, and a ripple passes across the bones. And from the trees, shapes stir. Small ones. Insect-like, lizard-like. Nothing dangerous, but many. Watching. One clicks, another whistles. All of them glow slightly, and their shimmer matches yours. You feel a pulse in your chest, not heartbeat, not emotion, recognition. You're not the first. You're not alone. Historians still debate whether dinosaur behavior included the transmission of learned signals across generations. But tonight in the mud and rain, you discover something deeper than learning. Inheritance. You leave nothing behind, just a glance at your rival, he nods. Then you both vanish into the rain once more. No glow, but now something more powerful. Witness. The swamp does not forget. Even after you leave that circle of bones, the ground clings to your claws like it wants to keep a piece of you. The trees lean closer. The water darkens behind you, then stills, as if erasing your passage. Your glow doesn't return that night, not even a flicker. But somehow that doesn't feel like failure. Because now you've heard it. The song. It wasn't in your head, wasn't a dream. It was real. And it called you by your own voice. The next few nights blur together, swallowed in mist and rain. But the sound keeps coming back. Sometimes distant, sometimes right behind you. Not always mimicry now. Sometimes it adds something, an extra note, a trill, a broken laugh. It's not repeating anymore. It's talking. Your rival hears it too. You can tell by the way his feathers twitch when the sound echoes. By the way he stops chewing mid-bite, head tilted sideways like he's trying to solve a riddle with no answer key. You sleep less, eat less. Follow the sound deeper into places the moon never used to reach. Even when the clouds finally break just a little, the moonlight barely filters down through the thick, foggy canopy. But your feathers, remember, they begin to flicker again tentatively. Not bright, not steady, but alive. And when they glow, the song answers faster. Authoritative fact. Many nocturnal animals today use sound as a long-distance navigation tool. Whales, bats, even some birds. If your ancestors glowed, it's possible they also sang and passed their voice through the trees like a second shadow. You push deeper into the marsh. You stop naming days. The song begins to come with footsteps, slow, soft, deliberate, always out of reach. You chase it one night, reckless, wild, no plan, no pause. Your rival follows, barely keeping up. Mud splashes. Vines claw your sides. The shimmer on your feathers spikes with adrenaline. You burst into a clearing and nearly fall off the edge of the world. There, stretched below you, is a crater lake, black as ink, perfectly round. Steam curls from its surface like breath, and at its center, an island. On the island, shapes, still, watching, glowing. Not bright, not decorative. Their glow moves in patterns. Waves of color pulse across them, soft green to gold, then blue to silence. It's not random, it's music. They don't speak, they don't move. But the glow sings. You crouch on the ridge, barely breathing. You realize slowly what you're looking at. Not a family, not a herd. A choir. Odd fact. Certain species of firefly synchronize their glow across entire trees, entire meadows. A living rhythm. No conductor, just pure instinct and time. These creatures, whatever they are, glow like that, only smarter. Each pulse seems specific, directed, not at you, not yet, but at each other. A language of light. You take a step forward. Your foot brushes a rock. Sound breaks the spell. They stop, every single one of them. Their glow cuts out at once. The marsh goes dark. You hold still. Even your rival stops breathing. Then one of them glows again. A single soft note of color, blue-green. It pulses 3 times. You feel it in your chest. You respond, not in words. Just a flicker, feathers lifted. A slow shimmer from spine to tail. They answer. 3 pulses again, then a different color. Orange now, then gold. You mimic it, carefully. They pause. Then all of them shimmer at once. And you are bathed in color, every hue you've ever seen. Some you haven't. It's not an attack. It's a welcome. They sing with light, and you understand none of it and all of it. They've been waiting for a long, long time. Historians still debate whether complex language could have evolved in non-mammalian species. But you've just witnessed communication older than speech, a conversation in color. You don't cross the lake, not yet. You just watch, and they let you. That night you sleep at the edge of the world, your rival curled beside you. And your feathers sing themselves to sleep. The ridge is gone when you wake. Not collapsed, not eroded. Gone. Swallowed by fog so thick, it feels like chewing silence. You rise slowly, your feathers already shimmering with soft confusion. Beside you, your rival blinks twice, then disappears into the white like a thought you meant to keep. You follow. You don't call out. Sound doesn't travel here. It just folds back into your throat like a shy apology. You try to glow, but the fog eats it. Not with malice. Just hunger. The kind that swallows stars. You walk carefully. Your claws don't click. The ground is mossed, muffled. Every step feels imaginary. Even your own breath sounds like it's being broadcast from someone else's mouth. You begin to worry you're dreaming. And then, the ridge returns. Just like that. Fog thins in a single breath and reveals a narrow ledge stretching along the side of a massive cliff. Trees cling to the rock like stubborn dreams. Below is the crater lake, still black, still steaming. The choir is gone. No shapes, no shimmer. But the trail leads onward. You step carefully. Your rival waits ahead, crouched in the mist like a painting waiting for a frame. He doesn't look back. He knows you'll follow. And you do. Together, you cross the ridge of fog. Each step triggers something new. A pebble slides away, revealing a patch of bioluminescent fungus green like envy. You duck beneath a drooping branch, your feathers graze it, and it flares blue for half a second, then dies. The entire ridge is alive, not just the animals, the land. And it's watching you. Historical fact. Some bioluminescent fungi like foxfire can glow for hours, reacting to pressure, moisture, and possibly touch. The ancient forests may have shimmered in moonless nights without a single living creature needing to glow. But you glow anyway. Not strong, just steady. The shimmer you release doesn't reflect off the fog. It slices through it. You realize you're not illuminating your path. You're cutting it open. Your rival does the same, his feathers still dull, but edged now with a halo of color that belongs more to the air than to him. Together, you carve your way through the mountain's breath. Then something new happens. You begin to rise. The ridge curls upward into a spiral, gentle, wide, and lined with stone carvings. No joke. Actual carvings. Scratch marks too precise to be accidental. Shapes, repeating. Some resemble claws. Some feathers. Some you. You step closer. One carving glows faintly as your tail brushes it. It responds to you. Not to the world. To you. The symbols light one by one as you pass. You begin to understand them not as words but as steps. Instructions. A dance written in light. You follow them. Odd fact. In some cultures, ancient cave markings may have represented rhythmic sequences, early attempts at musical notation or ritual instruction. Think prehistoric choreography. Tonight you become a dancer. You and your rival mirror each other stepping along the carved rhythm. A stomp here, a tail flick there. Your glow adjusts with every movement, syncing to the invisible beat. The fog parts completely, and you step onto a flat ledge high above the lake where the moon has returned. It hovers huge and distorted, cut into shards by mountain air. And in that fractured light, the two of you glow like legends. Below, the lake responds. The choir reappears. They do not approach, they listen. Your glow ripples. It's not decorative anymore. It's language. You pulse blue, gold, white. Your rival answers green, silver. Together you speak. A full conversation, a full story. The carvings on the ridge taught you. The fog tested you. The choir watches. And then impossibly they join in. The light from the lake rises like mist, wraps around your legs, up your sides into your feathers. You don't panic. You welcome it. And suddenly your glow is no longer yours alone. It's everyone's. The ledge, the mountain, the sky, they glow. The moon stares, caught between pride and confusion. And far below, something ancient shifts. Something bigger than memory. Historians still debate whether dinosaurs possessed ritual intelligence. But tonight you're writing a ritual in real time. When the choir vanishes again, the mountain doesn't go dark. It just exhales. And you and your rival sit at the top, your feathers humming in silence, knowing you are no longer just survivors. You are signal towers for a language made of light. You're not the first to glow. You know that now. The carvings told you. The marsh remembered you. The choir confirmed it. But you didn't expect to meet them. The ones who never molted. That's what you come to call them, though they never tell you their name. You don't even know how you find them. Or if they found you first. It happens after a storm. You and your rival take shelter in a hollow beneath twisted rock. When the wind clears, the jungle looks rearranged, trees snapped in half puddles where cliffs used to be. You walk carefully, the ground feels newborn, and there between two stone spires stand three figures, still unmoving. At first you think they're fossils, then one blinks. Feathers like silk and smoke. Eyes pale, not cloudy from age but bleached, as if staring too long at light erased their color. They don't glow, at first. Then one lifts a wing, and their feathers ignite. Not flames, not moonlight. Blue. Pure, clean humming. Not like your flicker. Not like your rival's shimmer. These feathers don't pulse, they burn. You freeze. So does he. The tallest one takes a single step forward. Their claws don't press the soil. The glow lifts them. Each movement hums like a distant storm waiting for permission to start. They tilt their head, not bird-like, not curious, more like diagnosing you. Authoritative fact. Certain birds molt their feathers seasonally to maintain insulation or coloration. But some species retain the same feathers for years, especially if those feathers serve non-physical purposes like display or ritual. These ones, they never molted because they never needed to. One of them circles you slowly. Your rival growls softly, not a threat. Just a reminder he's still here. The elder circles him too, then stops between you. Their feathers lift slightly. Three colors ripple across them, yours, his, and something new. A color you haven't seen before. Not blue, not silver, something like violet wrapped in shadow. You feel it in your bones. The elder leans close and whispers, not with sound, with light. 3 pulses, 2 pauses, then nothing. You blink. You try to repeat it. The glow slips through your feathers in awkward bursts. The elder repeats it clean this time, and then again, slower. It's not a command, it's language class. Odd fact in cuttlefish. Light-based communication is so precise it may qualify as a proto-language. Entire conversations happen across skin. You begin to learn. The pulses mean things. Not concepts, not names, but intentions. 3 short flickers, I see you. 2 long fades. Now show me who you are. The elder nods. Another steps forward. This one doesn't glow. Not at first. Then they open their mouth and light pours out. Just a tiny bit. Enough to show you the inside of them is glowing. Your rival steps back. Understandable. But you step forward. You mimic it, not the mouth, but the willingness. You let your glow rise through your spine, not for display, not for survival, just as truth. They accept it. The third elder begins a motion you don't understand at first. A slow walk in a spiral. Feathers dragging behind like the tail of a comet. You and your rival are drawn into it. Not dancing, more like orbiting. The spiral tightens, and with each step your glow sinks more and more to theirs. By the time the spiral ends, your feathers hum with a light that isn't entirely yours anymore. Your rival. He glows now too. Not fully, not constantly, but undeniably. Together you stand before the 3 elders. They don't speak. They just dim. And in doing so, they leave their light with you. It doesn't enter your body. It enters your memory. It says, remember this rhythm. Then they vanish. Not into fog. Not into trees, just gone, as if they were never here. But your feathers still shimmer in the violet hue they gave you. And your rival, he doesn't bow, but he lifts his tail just enough to flick his own version of thanks. Historians still debate whether extinct species passed on information generationally through more than instinct, through behavior, through demonstration, through ritual. You don't debate anymore, you know, because you carry something now, not just glow. a legacy. There are places where the world forgets how to pretend. You find one by accident, following the wind, chasing the shimmer of insects that no longer flee when you pass. The ground flattens, then steepens again, but it's different this time. No trees, no ferns, no undergrowth, just ash, ash and silence. And then you see it. The hollow mountain. It doesn't look dead. That would be too easy. No, it glows, faintly, from within. The mountain's flank has split in half, forming a jagged, yawning scar that exhales warmth and a breath that smells like sulfur and memory. Lava hasn't flowed here in generations, but it hasn't cooled either. It's still thinking. You step closer. Even the glow in your feathers pauses just a flicker of doubt. Your rival says nothing, but you both know what this place is. You've reached the edge of history, not a metaphor. A literal edge where bones melt and feathers do not fossilize. Authoritative historical fact. Volcanic zones in the Mesozoic era preserved very few fossils because extreme heat destroyed organic remains. But where the lava cooled fast enough, it captured moments' impressions of life mid-breath, mid-run, mid-song. You enter the hollow mountain. The tunnel is wider than it should be. The air hums, but not with wind, with vibration. Every step you take echoes through stone that feels thinner than it looks, like the whole place is listening. And then the walls begin to glow. Not everywhere, just in patches, shapes, familiar ones, feathers, sure, claws, even tail marks. But not as fossils, as bioluminescence. Lichen, no, creatures, alive. Tiny ones, barely visible. Microscopic colonies living on the stone, glowing softly in the exact patterns of your kind. They move when you move. They shimmer when you shimmer. And then you realize they're copying you. You step forward. The walls ripple with your glow. You pulse blue, gold, blue. The walls reply, not as echo, as answer. The hollow mountain is a mirror, a glowing, breathing record of your kind's passage through this world. And it remembers better than you do. Odd fact. Some bioluminescent microbes can sense pressure, heat, and light shifts and respond almost like a neural network. This cavern isn't just glowing, it's learning. Your rival tries it. He flickers his feathers once, twice, then huffs in frustration when the walls don't match him perfectly. But then you try again, soft, slow, deliberate. And this time the walls respond instantly. You're not just being reflected. You're being recognized. At the end of the tunnel is a chamber. Massive. Still warm. The air feels like breath caught between sleeping and waking. In the center, a shallow pit lined with black glass. You step into it and it lights up beneath you. Your whole life, your movements, your calls, your shimmer recorded in light. You look down and see echoes of yourself glowing across the glass like falling stars. And beside you, your rival's trail begins to appear too. It takes a different path. More jagged, more hesitant, but it's there. The hollow mountain is mapping you both. And then, all at once, it sings. No voice, just sound. Deep and wide and alive, not from above, but beneath. The glow surges across the chamber, outlining not just your bodies, but dozens of others. Hundreds, footprints, tail drags, wing beats, all made of light. You're not the only ones who ever passed through here. You're just the latest. Historians still debate whether extinct species knew the significance of certain places if they returned to sites out of memory or migration. But this is neither. This is a cathedral, and it was waiting for the next note in its song. You look to your rival. He doesn't smile, but he glows. And that's enough. You both bow not to each other, to the hollow mountain. Then you leave, not quickly. You walk slowly, letting your glow fade as you exit the tunnel. The air behind you still hums. The mountain remembers, and now so do you. It ends where it began, under moonlight. But this time you're not running. The jungle is quieter now. Not because the predators are gone. They still slink between trees, sniffing for weakness and opportunity. But something in your glow, not its brightness, not its color, but the way it moves tells them you're not worth the trouble. You are not food anymore. You are story. Your rival walks beside you. Not close, not distant, just enough. You've stopped trying to outpace each other. Survival has its own gravity now. You orbit it together, and you feel it coming. The end. Not death. Not yet. But something has shifted in the rhythm of the nights. The moon stays full longer than it should. The clouds part more obediently. The glow on your feathers doesn't flicker, it settles, as if your light knows what's coming before you do. The last clearing waits. Wide, circular, familiar. This is where you first noticed your glow, where the moon caught you in its gaze and never let go. But you're not alone anymore. From the trees, others step out. Not many, maybe 9, maybe 20. It's hard to count when they all move like breath. Some glow, some don't. Some mimic your shimmer. Others stand dark feathers, dull eyes sharp. They form a loose circle around you and your rival. You both know what this is. Not exile, not welcome. A reckoning. You take a step forward. The others part slightly, giving you space. Not fear, respect. That strange kind, the kind only earned by doing something others didn't dare try. Then the silence breaks. A soft trill. One of them calls not to you but at you, testing your response. Your rival answers first. A chirp, short, clean, but it doesn't match. You answer next. 3 pulses of glow, 1 pause, and the response comes immediately. The same pattern returned, then extended. A conversation, authoritative fact. Among birds, call and response is often used to test social bonds, not just for mating or territory, but to see who listens well. You listen, you answer, you glow in time, and the circle glows back. Your rival's feathers begin to shimmer too hesitantly. He mirrors you, finally catching the rhythm. And then something flickers at the edge of the clearing. A shape, bigger, not one of you. Predator. It steps into the moonlight. Long-legged, sharp-snouted with eyes like polished stone. The old danger. The reason you learn to hide. To glow. To survive. The others freeze. No one runs. Even your rival only shifts slightly, feathers flared. The predator studies the group and pauses. Not because of numbers. Not because of threat. Because of the light. You step forward. Your feathers flare, not bright, not loud. Just clear. A perfect shimmer across your shoulders, down your spine to your tail. You're not hiding. You want to be seen. You pulse once, twice, then slowly dim, and that's it. The predator looks at you, then turns and vanishes. Odd fact. Some prey species flash bright warning colors in unified displays, not to fight but to confuse. The message is not, come get us. It's, we see you and we're ready. You were ready. The others begin to move again, not to follow you, to leave. One by one they step into the trees, their feathers silent, their eyes different. Something has changed. They don't bow, but they glow. And you realize this wasn't a confrontation. It was a passing of rhythm. You sit in the middle of the clearing. Your rival does not sit beside you. He moves to the edge. You both knew this would come. A choice. 2 paths. Not enemies. Just finished. You nod once. So does he. Then he slips into the underbrush, his shimmer fading with each step until he disappears, not dimmed, just elsewhere. You remain. The moon watches. This is the first time in your life you've been truly alone. And it feels right. Not sad. Not silent. Right. Because this is the night you finally stop running. The light on your feathers lifts not in flares, not in pulses, in waves. You lie back on the moss, feathers wide. The glow spills over the leaves, over the mud, over the bones you didn't notice before. All of it glows now. Even the world. You close your eyes, and for the first time, you sleep without looking over your shoulder. The years pass like clouds. You don't feel them at first. Only the softness in your movements. The way your claws press more gently into soil. The way the wind sings different now, not sharp, not rushing, just longer, like even the sky has grown older with you. You don't chase things anymore. You wait. You no longer measure time by seasons or storms, but by brightness. Some nights, your feathers flare silver, catching even slivers of moonlight. Other nights, you flicker gold, warm and slow like dusk in motion, but you never stop glowing. And no one ever asks why. They come sometimes the little ones, curious, new. Feathers damp with youth, eyes wide with the hunger of beginnings. They crouch in the ferns watching you from afar, too nervous to approach, too enthralled to leave. You see yourself in them. You do not call them forward. But when you glow, they do. One night, a young one creeps close. Not brave, just lost. You tilt your head. Let the light drift across your spine. Soft like a breath on glass. She mimics it badly. You don't laugh. You lower your feathers, let her shine just a little in your shadow. She chirps confused, then delighted. Her light is not strong, not yet, but it's hers. You nod. She runs off. Authoritative historical fact. Many modern birds engage in teaching behavior. Crows, jays, even some parrots sharing food tools and even vocal tricks. Teaching isn't just for survival, it's for memory. Your clearing becomes quiet again. The moon is nearly full tonight, the kind of full that makes the sky feel heavy, but you've grown used to its weight. You lie on your side tail, curled feathers half fanned. Your glow flows outward smooth and unbroken like liquid silver tracing the curve of a forgotten path. You dream of caves that remember your name, of feathers that never needed to molt, of a song made entirely of light. Odd fact. Some jellyfish can live indefinitely, cycling back through younger forms when conditions suit them. But you're not cycling. You're settling, becoming part of something. The young ones stop copying you. They start copying each other. Good. You've done your part. Now you sit at the edge of the clearing, watching the trees sway beneath moonlight that still lingers on your back like an old friend. You close your eyes and let your glow spill into the soil. Soft, steady, not fading. Just leaving a trail. In a time before names and stars had meaning, you are born glowing, your feathers shimmering beneath the gaze of the moon. It marks you from your first breath, turning you into a signal, a target, a story. Through fear, wonder, and survival, you learn to control your shimmer, to bend it to your will, and vanish even while lit. Shadowed by a silent rival, tested by the ancient laws of moonlight, you grow from a vulnerable hatchling to a creature shaped by rhythm, ritual, and the language of light. You dance in moon trials, discover the buried history of your glowing ancestors, and find communion in caves that remember. You learn that not all threats come with teeth and not all teachers breathe. The mountain sings to you, the swamp echoes you, the ridge listens. Over time, you stop running. You stop chasing. You glow not to flee, but to guide. Others begin to mimic you, then follow, then understand. You are no longer a warning. You are a rhythm, a pulse in the dark. Your rival fades into the trees, you remain, and slowly, gently, the world begins to shape itself around the memory of your feathers. The moon still rises, but now it seems to pause just slightly when it passes your clearing. You sleep now with no fear. Your glow hums beneath moss and breath. It doesn't ask to be seen anymore, but it remembers.